Hi there, my name's Anna and welcome back to my art channel. So in today's gouache tutorial we're going to be working on a mountain sunset, and you can see I've already sketched out the mountains and a bit of the foreground, and now I'm painting in the sky and I am blending the colours into each other, starting from a fairly intense red at the bottom, going over into orange, pinkish orange, then into white, and then there's some blue at the top of the sky. Because we're working with blue and with some yellow in the sky, it's important to not blend those into each other directly, because otherwise we might end up with some green in our sky. So I've also indicated some reflections in the water, also using this nice pinkish orange color, and now I'm painting in the mountains. And the mountains are relatively far in the background, so they have a very bluish hue. Blue colors or cool colors will indicate that something's far away. Also, when something is very light and muted, that will also push it into the background. And these mountains have the most intense color at the top, and they fade out nearly into white at the base, which kind of makes it look like there's some fog sitting between the mountains or in front of the mountains, and give it a bit of a mysterious look. For some of the blue I've mixed in some red to darken the blue a bit and to dull it a little bit. And you can see how I mix in more white as I come down to the lower areas of the mountain. The colors in the background will also be more dull, of course, and in the foreground usually more vibrant. And I go over the mountains again, possibly even a couple of times, to lighten them up, just because gouache does dry in different colors than you expect, and differently to when it's wet, so I have to adjust that a couple of times. The blue I'm using for the mountains I think was Prussian blue or some other kind of cool blue, and in the sky that little bit of blue you can see is probably an ultramarine blue, something warmer. So gouache is suitable for blending. Maybe it's a little harder than with acrylic paint, I'm not quite sure, but you can definitely re-wet it, and as long as it's wet you can also blend the colours into each other. I guess what makes it a little bit harder for blending than acrylics is that it actually dries faster, but then you can re-wet it, so nothing is lost if you weren't fast enough. So I've mixed a purplish blue color here to add in some reflections on the water, or some water ripples. And now I'm adding in the trees in the background, and it is mostly just a darker blue color with possibly a little bit of green in there, but mostly it's just a darker blue than the mountains. And I'm adding in this tree line just with very simple, not Christmas trees, what are they called? Evergreens. Evergreen trees, I don't know. In German they're called Nadelbäume. And they're not all the same height. Have some variation in there. Basically I'm just painting these trees in by doing little motions from left to right, and the trees become wider as I go down. So I'm starting to paint in the riverbank using a very light greenish yellow colour. I'm now adding in some darker green. And now I'm adding in some more trees in the foreground. Well, not in the foreground, in the middle ground, that is. Adding some shadows to the riverbank. And I'm just using a lot of different shades of green. Some of the grass may be a little bit dry, so there's a bit of more of an orangey brown color there. Some are more juicy. And some areas are just more in shadow, especially along the waterline. So I'm adding in some more little trees or bushes to this piece of land. Some scrubs and some grass. And more shadow on the waterline. And to get the green really dark, sometimes I'm just adding black into it. You can also add in some red, as they are complementary colours and you'll get a darker colour that way. But sometimes it's just easier to add in some black. Now I'm painting in more water ripples and filling out the water some more, using different shades of blue. The areas at the outside of the painting are darker because there you have the reflection of the mountains, and towards the middle it's more the reflection of the sky, which is very light. And I just keep layering and blending out a little on the water until I have the look that I'm going for. Painting in the piece of land in the foreground here, and the colors here are the most vibrant, and there's also a lot of dark color here at the bottom of that land mass, because this is the furthest to the foreground. And you'll also see a lot of individual strands of grass here, because whatever is closest to you will also usually have the most detail. By the way, I hope you're enjoying this painting video and possibly painting along, and if you are enjoying it, please remember to give me a thumbs up and to subscribe to my channel. That would really help me out. So now I'm painting in some rocks in the water and some more detail, some more water ripples. And that's basically it. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you again soon in one of my next videos. Take care and bye bye.